Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be going through my 2021 predictions. And if you haven't already seen my reaction to my last year's predictions, I would suggest that you go and check that out. The link will be in the description. But yeah, I pretty much got every single one of them wrong. But in my defense, it was the week before lockdown that I made the predictions, so I think you'll have to cut me a little bit of slack, because coronavirus wasn't even really a thing. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. And also, before this video starts, if you enjoy it, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a dislike. I appreciate any interaction from anyone who's watching the videos, just so I can get an idea of what content I should be making and what I shouldn't. And also, if you enjoy the content that I'm making, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification, because obviously I appreciate it. But it shows that actually all the stuff that I'm putting time and effort into isn't going to waste. On top of that, I'm uploading league race videos every Wednesday at midday GMT. So if you're in European time, which I think is an hour ahead, it will be 1 o'clock. But just Wednesday around lunchtime, just have a look, and there should be a video up there of my league race from the previous week. And also I'll be streaming that evening, an hour before my race, which is from 6 PM on Wednesday evening as well, just a kind of warm up for my race, a little bit of practice, a little bit of a discussion with any of the drivers. But yeah, as I said before, it is that time of year to make the 2021 predictions. It's actually the 1st of January today, so it is New Year's Day today. And yeah, I just had a bit of spare time, so I thought I'd write a little bit of a script and make a video, because it's the thing that I enjoy doing. So yeah, so we've got a number of categories that I'm going to be going through, and yeah, we're gonna break it down one by one. So the first category is who will improve the most. Now, there were a number of people who didn't really perform this year, and I was thinking, okay, maybe this person could go in, like maybe Ocon. Maybe Sainz, he struggled at the start of the season, but to be fair, he picked back up. So I was thinking, who is most likely to improve the most? Who has had an absolute dog of a season in 2020, one to forget? And the name that came to my mind was Sebastian Vettel. He's really had a big struggle with Ferrari the past couple of years. With Aston Martin, it's a new team, and he said in an interview that he's looking to get his mojo back, and I think that Aston Martin could be a good place to do that. Fresh faces, fresh team. They're looking to build on the car that they've got. Obviously, they just missed out on P3 in the Constructors. Arguably, you could say that they were P3 if they hadn't have had the penalty point or the points removed, but that's just the way it goes. So they're looking to become a front-running team, and I think with Vettel's input, he's been in massive teams like Red Bull and Ferrari, and he's worked with the likes of F1 engineers such as Adrian Newey and James Allison, who's now Mercedes F1 chief engineer. So he's got a lot of knowledge that could definitely help the team, and I definitely think that he could help them as much as they will help him, and I think it will be a good relationship, and I think it will be good for Vettel. So the next category is who will perform the worst, and I've got to be honest, as much as I don't want to see him on the grid next year because of the thing that he did, and people might know who I'm talking about, but that is Nikita Mazepin. And yeah, Haas have so far said that they are going to be keeping him, so this prediction is based off of that assumption. I don't believe that he deserves his seat anymore. I don't really want to go into detail because I don't really want to get involved in like political stuff like that. I mean, I know it's not political, but it's a messy subject and a very sensitive subject, and I don't really want to bring it onto this channel. But if you are interested, I do suggest that you go and do a bit more research. There's a hashtag We Say No to Mazepin if you are going to do some research on that. But as I said, Nikita Mazepin, to be honest, I think he's going to perform the worst. He's not got an easy teammate, and I think that's probably why he's not going to perform well. He's got Mick Schumacher, who has literally just stormed in an F2 and won the championship. So I think it's going to be really difficult. And on top of that, Nikita Mazepin is a pay driver. He's not a talented driver to say. I mean, compared to all the other drivers, he's not a talented driver. He is very much a paid driver. I would put him on the same level as Nicholas Latifi, but yeah, I don't think that he's going to be able to perform at in the Haas. Not only because it's not got a lot of funding, that team, and I still think it's not going to be a fantastic car to drive, but I don't think he's a very good driver, so I don't think he's going to perform well, let alone against Michael Schumacher's son, Mick Schumacher. So that's my prediction for who will perform the worst, especially against their teammate. Who will be driver of the year? And this one was tricky because I guess you could say that there's probably a good 5 or 6 drivers that could be considered driver of the year. If Hamilton gets his 8th championship, he arguably, you could say he deserves it. Perez, if he performs well, if finally Verstappen has a teammate that performs well in the Red Bull, you could probably give it to Perez. If Bottas beats Hamilton, give it to Bottas. If Sainz or Leclerc really perform well, you could give it to them. But I didn't go for any of them. I went for someone who, in my opinion, was driver of the year in 2020 and who I think will be able to carry the momentum over, and that is Pierre Gasly. He's gone from strength to strength. He really, even when the going got tough, he got going. You know, he's had such a difficult time in Formula One. He's been in Formula One 3 years now. It's not been easy for him. Yeah, I think he will perform well. The AlphaTauris perform well as well. They made a big step in development last year. Well, I say last year, 2020. It was only a day ago that we were in 2020. So yeah, well, at the time of recording this. But yeah, I definitely think that he will be able to continue the strengths, and I just think he's a fantastic driver, and he's got a lot of hunger to do well and perform well, because I think he wants out of the Red Bull program. But I don't know, we'll have to wait and see really. Next category is Rookie of the Year, and there are a number of rookies that are joining the F1 grid in 2021. We've got the likes of Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin, Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso. Yeah, we'll maybe count him out this one. Yeah. Anyway, the person I thought would be Rookie of the Year this season is Mick Schumacher. He's holding up a massive name in Formula One, Michael Schumacher's son, and just the Schumacher name in general. And he handled the pressure well in Formula 2. And there were a lot of eyes on him, especially in Formula 1. There were a lot of eyes on him, and he was frequently mentioned in the F1 live coverage. And I think that he handled the pressure well in Formula 2, so I think he could continue that over to Formula 1. And also, Ferrari are good at spotting talent, so in looking back to the past, you got the likes of Perez, Leclerc, and then thinking about who they've got now, obviously they've got Schumacher, they've got Ilott, Callum Ilott, who's Ferrari test driver or reserve driver, it's basically the same thing, and Robert Schwartzman. And Ferrari driver academy drivers were basically running the show in Formula 2. They were mega consistent, and they rarely were challenged by any other driver academy drivers. The only ones that I can think of are some of the Renault academy drivers. Their names escape me, but yeah, Ferrari were pretty much running the show in Formula 2 in terms of their academy drivers. And for me, he just reminds me of Charles Leclerc when Leclerc was racing in Formula 2 in 2017. He just gets the job done, and I think that we could see the kind of performances that Leclerc had when he was in the Alfa Romeo or Sauber, whichever team it was in 2017. So I definitely think that Schumacher will be Rookie of the Year. Okay. And the next category is for the most toxic or aggressive team rivalry. So I think that this is probably going to be Verstappen and Perez. Verstappen has very much controlled Red Bull ever since 2016 when he won in his first Grand Prix with them, which I'm so lucky, but it's the way it goes in Formula 1. You've got to perform the right things at the right time. And yeah, I think it's going to be a struggle for Max to kind of have to let go, because Perez is a phenomenal driver, and I think that he is. I really hope that he performs well in that second car at Red Bull. I don't think Verstappen's going to like it. I think there could be potentially some kind of Verstappen wanting Red Bull to kind of hinder Perez, and then Red Bull saying no, and I think it will potentially put more of a strain on the relationship between Red Bull and Verstappen than Verstappen and Perez. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but that's who I think it was. The other one that I was thinking of was Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, just because they're so similarly matched. But again, I think Ferrari with their very much 1-2 perspective on their team, I think because Leclerc is their kind of F1 prodigy, that's who they've signed till 2024, for goodness sake. What did they sign him in 2019? He's very much their star driver, and they've developed him ever since the start of his career. But yeah, Verstappen and Perez, most toxic team rivalry. Now, this is the more interesting part, but I don't think you're going to like the answers. So the next category, or categories, are driver and constructors titles. Just discussing the driver's title, I think Lewis Hamilton will... My prediction is that Lewis Hamilton will get his 8th World Championship. The cars aren't really changing much for next year. There's a slight reduction in downforce, so their cars won't be as fast as they were this year. But Mercedes were so dominant this year, although Red Bull did struggle in the first half getting the balance right, and they fixed that at the end of the year. But Mercedes were so dominant this year that I think it's not really going to change much for them, and I think that they will still be the fastest car. And even when they weren't the fastest car, like 2019, when Ferrari were the faster car arguably, Mercedes won on consistency, and that's why I think even if Red Bull were similarly matched with Verstappen and Perez in the car, that's where I think the team rivalry could seriously hinder Red Bull and could potentially make them lose the championship if they were a well-performing car like the Mercedes. But yeah, I think Hamilton to 8 championships, and for the constructors title, my prediction again, Mercedes 8 in a row. That would be an absolutely staggering amount of championships to win. Yeah, it's actually mad. Like, they're almost at a decade of consecutive wins if they do that. It's the same reasons as why Hamilton, I think, will get the 8th World Championship. Just the cars aren't changing much, and a lot of people are going to be complaining about that, and a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, I'm getting bored of seeing Hamilton and Mercedes win. But Toto Wolff brought out something that I thought was almost poetic about Formula One in an interview. He was saying that you can't have great drivers winning in a bad car, and you can't have bad drivers winning in a great car. It doesn't work like that. You've got to be a great driver and have a great car and a great team. And I think that was the perspective of, like, Verstappen was saying, oh, if you could put anyone in the Mercedes car on the grid and they would win. And that's where Toto Wolff was kind of coming from, and that's not true from my perspective. That's not true. You couldn't put Giovinazzi, you couldn't put Grosjean. Maybe you could put Magnussen. I don't know. Probably not. None of those drivers, Latifi, no, they would not perform to the level that Hamilton does consistently. So when George Russell got in the car and he was winning and beating Bottas, I think that really shows how much of a talent Mercedes have there. And I think they are definitely going to be eyeing him up for 2022. I think they're probably going to drop Bottas because they've already tried to. They already tried to for next year, but Williams said no. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but that's for next year's predictions. So yeah, those are the predictions. So hopefully I get a few more correct this year. Hopefully they come true and I'm actually okay at predicting, unlike last year. But in my defense, as I said before, COVID was a thing, so yeah, that kind of threw everything out the window. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't and you disagree with my points, tell me why in the comments. Leave a dislike if you really feel that you didn't enjoy the video, that's fine. And yeah, if you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. As I said at the start of the video, I really appreciate it because it signals to me that I'm putting my time and effort into the right thing. Follow me on Twitch and Instagram, link will be in the description. And as I said before, league races are out every Wednesday at midday GMT. This video should go out before Wednesday, probably like a Monday or Sunday, something like that. So the next league race that's coming up on Wednesday should be my Japan race. That was a great result, so I would definitely recommend watching that when it comes out. And the same day that that video comes out, I'll be racing at USA, and that will be my 1 year anniversary of league races. So I want to do something special for that. I'm really gonna practice and put some loads of time and effort in, because I really want to be performing at that race. Just a kind of a nice tribute to the year of league racing I've had. That's got me through a lot of the lockdown. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the video. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. If you're watching up to this point, shows that you're committed to the channel, and we rate that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.